Hello everybody, welcome to my how-to video on how to do-yourself repairs on the Lexus HS250h. Today we're going to discuss the trunk of the Lexus, or most importantly the struts that lift the trunk. Unlike other Toyota vehicles, Lexus tends to use gas spring struts to lift their trunk and to allow ease of opening. Well, if your vehicle is like mine, 12 years old with 100,000 city miles, the trunk is starting to get heavy. Lifting the gas struts is getting more and more difficult, and in my vehicle especially, when you lift the gas struts more than halfway and let go of the trunk, it just slams down shut. Really unsafe. The struts need to be replaced. They're replaceable parts. You can do this in about 20 minutes at the most. It's taken me longer to shoot this video than this to do the job. My local dealership wants $250 in labor to do this. So you'll save a considerable amount of money doing the job yourself. So let's look at what parts and tools we need. I'm going to pan down, and you're going to see some oddball set of tools here. You need a flat screwdriver and a needle nose pair of pliers. I just use a Leatherman combination tool made in Portland, Oregon. You also need a broom handle, and that's to hold the trunk open when you remove the strut, because it will try to slam down on you. As for parts, you will need two different struts. They're handed, a left and a right. And in the past, the HS250h, the part number for your vehicle depended on the build date, the trim level, whether it had a spoiler or not. There was a huge number of parts. Well, Toyota and Lexus Corporation have narrowed it down to basically two parts now. It's really easy. Everybody's car will need these parts. Okay, the left strut is a 64540-75051. The right hand strut is 64530-75051. Notice they're basically the same with just one number off. Again, these are handed left to right. So when you remove your old ones and install these, remember that they are handed. These struts are also pretty much unavailable from a third-party manufacturer. You have to buy them from Lexus. My local Toyota dealer, who carries a lot of parts, didn't even have these struts. So it is a Lexus only part. So the source, like a lot of parts for the HS250h, is kind of narrow. So I'm going to come and open up the trunk and we'll get back to you. Okay, so we've got the trunk open here now. As you can see, my struts aren't too horrible when in the full open position, but don't let that fool you thinking that that trunk will stay open, because mine on a windy day will slam shut. Before we do the maintenance, first thing we need to do is remove everything out of your trunk. We need to remove the mat, we need to remove the hard cover that sits over your spare tire, and we need to remove the insert where your jack, your tire iron, all the associated, some people keep their wheel lock there. I keep mine in the glove box as well. Remove that, so you should only see a spare tire. I'm going to do that in a minute here, and I'll get back to you. As you can see here, this is what I was talking about the insert. And here is the rest of what was inside the trunk. So let me pan slowly to the trunk now. I've moved the cargo net away, which is important. Your trunk should look like this. Now, really important thing, we are going to remove this panel here, this straight panel here with the molded Dan shape into it. It is connected to the top here, right here. This is one piece. So in order to remove it, there's a little pull tab in the bottom here that you yank on, and it sort of clips in. And there's these two clips, one right here and one right there. You have to remove both of these clips in order to lower the panel, and it's quite easy. I've kind of already redone it for you, but that's all it takes. No tools required. And this is the clip. Pretty simple clip. Works well. I'm going to do the other side for you too. And there you go. Now we can lower this down. Now before we can lower it all the way, we need to remove the trunk light. It needs to be removed. the whole assembly needs to be lowered. And I'm going to take this, okay, I'm going to come back to you and take this out, and I'll show you. We need to remove this light, disconnect the electrical cannon plug. So now I have the light removed, and I apologize, but it's hard to do with one hand taking the light out. So I removed the light and disconnected the electrical plug. So now the plug is here. Now this panel here, simply you just pull it out. And you can just tug it right here in the bottom, and you pull it out. The key thing with this panel is, you have to remember, is that this panel here is bigger than the opening in your trunk. So you have to fold it and do some strange things to get it out. But it will come out. This fabric here, this material, is a really thin, it's like a, I would say like a plastic impregnated cloth. It is kind of brittle. So if it feels hard coming out, don't overdo it, overexert it, because you can damage the panel. You know, and I'm sure being a Lexus HS250 part, this might be hard to find if you need a replacement. So I'm going to remove this panel, and then I'll come back and show you what the next step is. Okay, so now this is the panel when it's removed out of the car. One thing I forgot to mention is there are clips right in the hinges, and I'll show them to you. Right here, that clip in to the side where the hinges are. Really important to be gentle and pull them off. But they will be tough the first time you remove this panel. This is the second time I removed this panel for the purpose of video, so it was a lot easier for me. This bottom half here is velcroed together in a strange way. Don't take it apart. I made that mistake. It's not that fun putting it back together. So let's look at our trunk and see where we are at here. So when we come to our trunk, you'll see we have a great view of the battery, and there's our struts. Pretty easy. Now I'm going to zoom in on the strut. Now you see these metal brackets here? They are what secure the strut onto the end. What I do is use a flat screwdriver and pull them off. You need to do both ends, and then you can just pull them right off the mount. What important thing is that you need to put the broom handle in, because if you don't, that trunk is going to slam down so fast you won't even have time to react. So I'm going to do that, remove this for you, and then show you the aftermath. Okay, so I've removed the strut. This is the brand new strut. Important. You see you can see the clip right here. If I rotate this, you'll see it kind of has like a set of teeth that hold it on. What you need to do is use your plier, flat screwdriver, and just open up ever so slightly and push this on. Then afterwards, you put the other end the same exact way, kind of how you remove the old strut. Important thing to remember is there's a little dab of grease in the end of this, and another little bit of grease in the end of this. I don't know if you can see it. So the grease, don't disturb the grease, because that helps the rotation, reduces squeaks and noises. Finally, this chrome part goes towards the front of the car. The actual body of the strut goes to the back. I'm going to put it in for you, and then I'll show you the front. Okay, we got these new struts on. And I need to make a correction on what I said in the last part of the video. On the new struts, just pop them on, and the clips will roll off and pop on. So you don't need to don't mess with the clips on the brand new strut. Only on the old ones where you need to pull them off to remove them. But here we go. We've got the new struts in. After you're done, give them a good tug. Make sure that they're in. And you'll notice now I took the broom handle off, and everything seems to look and feel really well. Again, double check your fitness. Now, one thing I want to mention about these struts one more time, and I'm going to bring an old one here for you. If you look right there, LC, that is the left strut. On this one, RC, that's the right strut. Make sure when you install them that you put the LC in the left and the RC in the right. If you're in doubt, just look at the original installation. Take a picture, write it down, and then you won't miss. And I'm going to see if I can show you, but if you look now, we go halfway. See how that trunk just went up? When I had the original struts in, doing that, the trunk would slam shut. take a final look at your battery while you're here. Since you got the cover off, make sure there's any corrosion, clean it up. Take a look at the fan right there too. I always take a little gander, maybe run a vacuum cleaner to clean any dirt, dust I see there. And now just put the panel in. I'm going to tell you right now, putting that big panel in is going to be difficult. Again, its shape does not allow easy removal. One more thing, when you put the panel in, make sure this connector is pulled down and pulls through. That will make the installation much better, because if you jam the connector up there, you have to take it back out again and find it. And finally, really important, any of these panels, whether it's this one here, that top cover, try not to handle too much. If you do too much handling, you can damage these panels. They're not very thick, and they're really not meant to be removed as many times as we do. And even my top panel is starting to sag a little bit from removing and installing it a couple times to make this video. So I'm going to go install the panel in for you and show you the next step. Okay, welcome back. Now, for those really observant viewers, some are going to be asking me at the beginning of the video, why did I need that needle nose plier? Because it looked like I hadn't used any tools at all, other than the flat Phillips to get the end clip off the strut. And what it is for this. Some of these are really tight. You may need a needle nose plier to pinch this to get it off, and that's why I did it. But in this installation, I didn't need them. So have them on hand, but you might not need them. Once you have this pulled through and attached like this, just push it in and it clicks in. It's that easy. Those tabs I was showing you, they're locking in here. So that's the reason for the need for those tabs. And you just feel them click in, and that's all there is to it. And I'm gonna give me a minute here. I'm gonna show you those parts here. All right, so the roof here, you'll see this notch. See this notch here? This fastener here, the little clip, needs to go up inside this notch. So push up and in, and it will secure it. You have two of these that do this. So I'm going to pause the video and do it for you, and I'll show you the final installation here. Alright, so we've got everything installed. Everything looks good. See, there's no sagging. One thing I want to mention, there is a bit of a booby trap. You see these white clips here? They have to fit in the notch. If they don't fit in the notch, your trunk liner will look like this. After you install the clips, it shouldn't look like this. So there's a 1, 2, 3 clips, 4 clips on there. Make sure they're in and they're installed properly. I'm going to do that real quick here and get back to you. Alright, so everything's installed. Did a little check. The fit and fair is good, and I've put in my jack accessory, tire change accessory tray in. Now just put the rest of the components in the vehicle and you're set. I'll leave a description in the description, the part numbers that you're required for the struts, and happy motoring. And I just want to give you one final look with everything installed, and I want to show you how the trunk looks with the new struts. I'm trying not to get too close. So here it is, part way. The trunk closes. You lift it about part here, it's neutral. Lift it a little higher, and it's creeping up. Oh, there you go. It's creeping up. That's the way it should open. It shouldn't slam shut on you. So there you go. Simple task, not too expensive parts, easy to do in 15 minutes.